Okay, so the one that I left out will be combining statistics with corrections. So far, you know how to combine. I know some of you already know how to do it, but this is a step by step on how to do it. Okay, so you will combine both the statistics. That one you know how to do, where you combine two sets of data. I think the only one that some of you are still not very sure because I haven't covered it is the one with corrections, where you remove data or you add in data. How do you handle it? Okay, so this will be example 4, I believe, which I'm not wrong. I think it's page 27 in your manual, which I left out. Okay, all right. So now let's look at this. This is in your manual. So how actually do we do correction? How will we actually sort of look at the correction? So basically, if you look at this, you will actually correct the sigma x and sigma x squared. Okay, and the n. The changes will take place from the summary statistic, not anywhere else. Okay, so now if you look at the first one, if you are going to remove data, so they've given you an example there. Let's say originally your sigma x is 88, originally your sigma x squared is 420, and originally your n is 20. So if you're going to remove 8, meaning you're going to take out 8. So if I'm going to take out 8 from my sigma x, I just minus 8. It's just like this. If you have a set of data, now 8 needs to be removed. So what do? You minus 8 from there, isn't it? You take it out. So it's the same concept actually. Sigma x squared, you will minus 8 squared. Why do you minus 8 squared? Because when you add up each data, you add up each one of its squared, right? Then you get sigma x squared. So if you want to remove it, you will use the same treatment. You minus 8 squared from there. And of course, if you're removing data, your n will reduce by 1. It will become 19. So if I were you, I will show you later how to actually just maintain the same table. We will do it later. Now, if you're changing data, meaning you're going to take out something and you're going to add something back in. You're going to take out one data and replace it with the other. So what will happen? Basically, you take out and add back what you want. So for your sigma x, 88 minus 8. Do you see that? Because you're going to remove 8 and you add 18. I understand you can add 10. There is a difference there. The difference is 10. The extra, you just add 10. You can do that if you want, but you have to be very careful when it comes to sigma x squared. There are a lot of students, when they minus 10, oh yeah, the difference is only 10. So you just add on 10. Then when you come to sigma x squared, you add on 10 squared. That is wrong. Okay, for sigma x squared, you got to treat it one by one. Minus 8 squared plus 18 squared. Do you understand? You will get 680. Okay, so if let's say now you're going to change data, you take out what you want and add in what you want, you do it the same way as what we did earlier. So your n will remain at 20, it will not change. Okay, now when you want to add data means I'm going to add another data. Then you just add now whatever you're adding. If they ask you to add 6 into the data, you add 6 to your sigma x. You add 6 to your sigma x squared. So in this case, you want to add 5. So sigma x, add 5. Sigma x squared, add 5 squared. So you follow accordingly. Your n also, don't forget to add 1. Students always forget to actually treat the n the same way, because n is number of data. If you remove, it will reduce. You change, it won't reduce. If you add data, it will reduce. So make sure you treat it the same way. Okay, so let's look at the example that I left out in your manual the last time around. So we're going to use the same method. So part A, I don't think is any different. Part A is just combining two sets of data. I would rather you use the table because it's easier from all your work that I went throughout the weekend. I realize most of you are using the table method. Only some things that you need to be careful about is some of you are not transferring your value in 4 decimal places. When you don't do that, then you will get a different answer, okay? So your sigma x squared, make sure it's in 4dp if it's in many decimal places. Okay, so you write down the same thing. I think we've covered this part. I don't think this part should be a problem. So part A should be quite all right. So I'm going to go through part B. So what's going on in part B actually? There is a correction for set x and y. Okay, for set x, you're changing, set x is changed from, the data in set x is changed from 2 to 0.2. So you're going to take out 2 and you're going to add 0.2. That's what's going on there. For set y, you're going to remove one data, which is 0.4. So you're going to take out 0.4. So now I'm going to show you how we're going to do it. We're going to use the same table, but if you can, use a different colored pen because it'll be easier for you to do it. All right? So if you can see as what I've done here for you, your original sigma x from the part A is 100. So what are you doing to x? You're removing 2, therefore I minus 2. And you're adding 0.2, so you add 0.2. Do you see that? Okay, so the new sigma x will now be 98.2. Yes, this is very tedious, so make sure you draw your table big enough. It is neat. The moment your work is neat, you should be able to trace back your working and it should be okay. Sigma x squared, 635.2. You want to take out 2, right? So minus 2 squared plus 0.2 squared because you're adding 0.2 into the data. So you will get 631.24. In this situation, everything is in 1 or 2 decimal places, no problem. But if it's more than 1, 2 decimal place, 3, 4, 5, 6, make sure you just round off to 4, okay? And then for part Y, what's going on? Part Y is quite direct. We're actually going to remove the data. Okay, so remove the data. Don't forget to correct your n. Can you see that? I've done it for you. 30 minus 1, you get 29. Sigma x originally is 144, you minus 0.4, right? Why you do that? Because you want to take out 0.4, isn't it? Okay, sigma x squared is 836.4 originally from part A, you were minus 0.4 squared. Why minus 0.4 squared? You're taking out 0.4. Okay, after you have done these corrections, whatever steps after that remain the same. We are back to square one. Just make sure you do the corrections properly. And if I were you, I won't draw a new table. Just correct it from your old table. Use a different color pen except for red pen. Because you, first of all, your part A is already done. Why you want to redraw the table? But some of you who wish to redraw the table is also up to you. Okay, that's not a problem. So how to find mean? 241.8 divide 49. You will get the mean. How to find standard deviation? The same method as you have been doing before this. So it shouldn't be a problem. So this is how you do corrections. Okay.